Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are tuning in. My name is Rachael Goldsworthy, and we are on the home stretch, people. We are on the home streets. 2mm Monday. I'm on a journey to improve my life by 2 millimeters each and every day, and I want to do that with you. How is everybody? Are we good? I bought my party hat. Woo! Okay. Oh. Losing my hat here. We're going to go, people. I'll just get my notes ready. All right. I don't even know whether I've got my glasses. They're all foggy. Does anybody else do that? You get glasses that are all foggy? Hey, everybody. How is everyone? Jem, Leslie, Jax, what's going on? It's all happening. Well, how was Christmas for everybody? What did you get up to? What was your favorite present? Everybody got a favorite present. This is one of mine. I got a really special blanket with lots of photos and things. And I got a really special present from my mum and dad. It's just the best. Let me just do this for you. It talks to us. You ready? Oh. You got to say something. And then it talks back to you. Hope you're having an amazing day. Not losing your hat like me. It actually came with a, I don't even know where it is. This is my kangaroo from Christmas. And I'm wearing my Santa hat now. Isn't that funny? All right. So I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't repeat everything that we're saying. So, what was everybody's favourite part of Christmas? What did you get for Christmas? What was the presents like under the tree? I guess my favourite present was just catching up with each and every one of you. I really loved Christmas. I've got my island shirt on from Indonesia, and I'm looking forward to catching up with everybody over in Indonesia again. This year I'm going to swim with the whale sharks. It's a little present to myself for the year. Oh, do you want to come and say hello, Tops? I think Topsy wants to say hello this time. She doesn't normally. Do you want to say hello? Come here, Bubba. Oh, she's had a few too many snacks. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. This is Topsy. She loves to say hi to everybody. She's usually the one behind the scenes. Usually Bruce is the one that's up on the screen, but... Hey, Greg, how are you? Nice to see you in Colcan. He taught me a way to say where he lives because I can never remember how to say it. So, yeah, I think the favourite gift of mine was the presence of each and every one that I got to catch up with. Christmas Day was lovely. Christmas Eve was really nice with family and friends. And Topsy as well, I know. And then I was thinking about... the new year. We're going to learn 3 things that are going to make your 2025 amazing, and also touch on my calendar that we've all been working on. And you've probably been working on your calendar too, sort of thinking about, okay, we're leaving 2024. What is the new year going to look like for us? What are we going to be doing? I mean, I'm sitting here in my recliner yesterday, and I didn't know what day it was. Like, I've finished work, I'm out of the zone, and I'm just sort of, is it Saturday? Is it Sunday? Is it Monday? What time is it? Where do I need to be? And when your schedule goes out the door, you find that you're relaxing a little bit too much in some regard. But I almost forgot my 2mm Monday, but how could I forget the last 2mm of the year? It's going to be a lot of fun. And I promise you I'll get to the 3 things that will make your year by design with the calendar that we have. But as the new year stands before us, I was sort of thinking, kind of like the constellations when you look in the sky and you see the same constellations, the same moon, and it orbits in the same way. And then I thought, well, what are we going to be orbiting towards or around in 2025? Are we going to be orbiting in the same direction that we were? Or are we going to be changing our orbit a little bit? Sometimes the satellites can change their orbit to pick up a different signal, to get a better signal for what they're doing. And then I just sort of thought, hey, Tony, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. We're talking about the orbit and the constellations and things that we see on a regular basis. I was only talking to my nephew today, and we were talking about, like everyone's talking about the drones up in the sky at the moment. But we saw probably, would have been 5 or 6 months ago, Chris, I'm not too sure, you can pop in the comments below when it was, but we saw this direct line of these, what looked like drones, but it was so high, it just wasn't possible, and it was a line of these lights. And it could have been the Starlink satellites as well, it could have been anything, but they were sort of like a warm light. And as soon as we went to photograph them and video them, they just disappeared. It just like went from nowhere. So I was sort of thinking, well, what and how and why is what my 2025 is, what's that going to look like, and why would I do that? And then literally within 12 hours, I get a message from my Texan realtors, go Texan realtors, move to Texas, Katie and Ryan, and they asked me to join a 75 hard accountability, which is basically just doing something for yourself and working towards your goals. And there's only a couple of rules that they have on that. And I'll get into that as well. But it was kind of like an accountability buddy with a bunch of people that you're all doing the same thing and heading towards the same goals. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of what we do on 2mm Monday, but it's just a different stretch that we do. So I think with this one, the 75 hard, it's all about health and fitness and what you're going to do differently. So I've popped in my stories. If anybody wants to join us, we're going to do 75 days. There's only 5 rules, I think it is. And the 5 rules are, I don't even know when I'm going to remember it. 1 gallon of water a day. You can pick a diet, any diet that you want, doesn't matter. Just stick to it. So no cheat days. You're going to do 2 training exercises a day. So one needs to be outside. So you could go for a walk with the dogs, or you could go to the gym, or you could go for a kayak, or you could walk and talk with some friends in the park, whatever that may be. And the final thing, the 5th thing, was to read a book. So 10 pages a day. That's it. Really simple. I know it's a lot to do, but I kind of think 75 days is really not that much out of your life to see what the results are. And I thought, well, that came into my feed literally within 12 hours of me asking the question. So I thought, okay, yes, I say yes to all of those things that feel good, that feel right, and I just know that there's good things coming, and it can only have a positive. Even if you shot for the moon and you got to the stars and those constellations are there and you're orbiting in the right direction, you're drinking the water, even though you might not get all of the water, like it's 3.785 litres a day. So for somebody who doesn't drink a lot of water, but I know that our body is made up of, 85% water. So it's so important that we get that hydration, because it helps our clarity, it helps our thought process, it helps our body to recover, it helps so many different things. And also sometimes when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. Our body's saying, hey, can you get me a drink of water? But we think, hey, we need a snack. So also the diet, as I say, it doesn't matter what diet that works for you. You all know, I mean, you don't need to be told how to eat or what to do. We all know what we need to do. But as long as you don't have those cheat days, and it's not that long to make a commitment, and then if you start feeling great, you're drinking the water, you're doing your exercise, you're catching up with friends, you're reading a book, you're learning something about yourself or people around you, whatever that may be, I think only good things can come of that. So I'm really excited about that and looking forward to doing that. One other thing I thought about in relation to the new year was things that we typically do this time of year. When we've got a house and we have too many things, like I was going through the kitchen cupboards today and just ripping out everything that I hadn't used for the last 12 months, pretty much similar to what you do in your cupboard in your bedroom with your clothes. I mean, sometimes you have clothes in there that you don't use or haven't worn for 12 months or 2 years. They're too big, too small. We don't want to get rid of them. We feel guilty because it cost a lot of money or somebody gave that to us or whatever it may be. So it doesn't matter whether it's clothes or whether it's something else. But I guess just think about that. You know, you can declutter the house, as it were, and pop away things that you don't need anymore. Or if they're in the wrong spots in the house and you never can find them anyway, that's always a good thing. So declutter the house and maybe do it one room at a time, you know. You can do one room a day, one room a week, one room a month, because if you did one room a month, by the end of the year, you would have done all of the house and you would have been feeling great, and it gives you a purpose towards that year. So you don't have to do it all in the holidays, because obviously you want to have some time out for yourself as well and just take some time. But you could also do a good thing with those things that you think that you're going to throw out. One person's trash is another person's treasure. So you could essentially donate those things to a local organisation, whether it's St Vincent's, Salvation Army, it could be any number of things, but just look at the people that you want to do that for. The other thing is dump unwanted things. Just have a council cleanup. I think every year you get 2 council cleanups in the Hawkesbury. You do also have the green bins, the yellow bins, and the other bins. So, you know, that's something that you could do. And I'm just looking at my magpie, whether I can have a little look-see, and I'll take him out. I'll take you out and show you my little magpie, and then we're going to come back to my okay. This is my magpie. Hey, how are you? Hi, he hasn't seen the camera before, so he's a little bit camera shy. But I just thought I'd show you Maggie. Tony, you might appreciate that. He's got these beautiful poultry down in Tasmania. So my one's probably not show ready, Tony, but you'd be able to give me a few tips on and tricks on how to look after the magpies. But I sort of give him a few oats every now and then, or, you know, give them a little bit of something else. So there you have it. That's my... All right, so that's that. Going back into our spot. That's the calendar that we're getting onto, people. We're going to have a look at that. Slowly filling up. I'm so excited about that. Really excited. Okay, all right, what have we got? Don't want it to fall off. The other thing is you could do, which sometimes you don't like doing it, but sometimes re-gifting things. Because you don't want it sitting in your cupboard for years, but equally you don't want to throw it out because somebody gave it to you that they thought that would be really nice for you. But maybe look at re-gifting something because that person, you know, may want that thing. Like, for example, Mum and Dad gave me, a few years ago, they gave me a lovely, I don't know, something to make something in the kitchen. And then I had an old one that I'd been holding on to because I think it was like, you know, those whiskers, the egg beaters or something like that you can make pavlovas with, or beat your eggs or beat your cream with that, whip your cream. Anyway, it was a Philips one. And I mean, we're talking probably 40 years ago. It lasted that long, but it only had one of the beaters. So you know how you have the 2 beaters and then they do their own things within the beating? Well, then this other one that I got had 2 beaters, whereas the old one only had 1 beater. So then I thought, well, who can I give this to? And the person I gave it to is a friend of mine, Julie. She helps clean around the house and things like that. Amazing person. Big shout out to you, Julie and Barge. And she said, oh, mine just broke down. So I thought, brilliant. Would you like this one? It only has 1 little beater. She said, all I whisk is my eggs for the scrambled eggs in the morning or the cream. And she said, it'd be brilliant. So I thought, wow. So, you know, giving it or re-gifting it or doing those sorts of things is always a good thing to think about. Another thing I like to think about too, I mean, I don't know why we always wait till the end of the year and then come into the new year, but we do, and that's just the way it is sometimes. But equally, inboxes. Like, we've got to declutter our inboxes as well. I've been known to have nearly 100,000 emails in my inbox at any one time. So at the end of the year, I try and clean everything out and complete everything that I can, and then it goes into the new year. So that's just a positive thing that, okay, I've done all of the tasks that I need to do in the 100,000 emails, and then I can pop them in the completed and then move to the next one. So that's a good thing. Maybe you could write a note to people that have helped you over the years. Maybe you could write a note to a friend or a family member that had an impact. It could be a teacher at school that helped your kids in school, or it could be a music teacher that inspired you to learn, whether it was the piano as I have and the drums that I had this year. Some great teachers. A big shout out to Michael and a big shout out to Leah. You're wonderful. But yeah, maybe write a note to somebody and let them know that you really appreciate them and the impact that they had on your life. The other thing that you could do is write a list. Just go crazy. Sit down on the holidays, and it doesn't all have to be at the one time. You can have a book full of it, but just write down some crazy ideas. Like I went to the local travel agent and got some books on Scandinavia and going with the sled dogs and going on tour to India, Nepal, and going to Vietnam, Cambodia, some of the river cruises. This year, I'm going to go to the Philippines, as everyone knows, and go and visit Des and Paul, a couple of our friends over there that we know of, and swimming with the whale sharks. So that was a big thing for me. But what I suggest you do, like I'm going to go and see the Northern Lights next year as well, like the year after. So I think it's always good to have a big thing on your calendar, one big thing that's going to make a huge difference. But if you cut these out, you don't have to, like, there's not everything's exciting, but if you cut things out like that you want to go and see, I mean, there's a bar over there that's just all ice. Everything is ice. Imagine seeing colourful streets like that. And if you put them up and write them, seeing temples like this. I mean, if you've seen one temple, you've seen them all. Some would say the same things like going to Adelaide. But I just really, really like it. Can you imagine travelling to a place that's got a house on the side of a ledge, a place like this? I mean, they're all wonderful places, but definitely the Northern Lights and up that way is going to the Nordic travel is going to be on the list for me. But cut them out and put them on your calendar. Like you can see my calendar is growing, but I'm going to be putting that on the side of the calendar down the side here. And that will be exactly where my ideas, my brain dump, as it were, of things that I really want to do. So I might not necessarily do them this year, but just pick one big thing that you're going to do this year and it's going to get you really excited or massively change your life, whether it's fitness or whether it's catching up with family and friends and improving those relationships, or whether it's seeing, your local area, connecting with people locally, seeing who they are, why they bought their business, why they set up their business, what's important to them. Hey, Lenny, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. And thank you to everybody else joining me too. There's so many of you here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But get excited about 2025 because we only get one life. And yeah, we can all get into a rut sometimes. We all don't really know what we're doing sometimes. But then when you surround yourself with people that do, and I'm not just saying that I've got it all worked out because I certainly haven't, and I learn from all of you as well. But if we all learn together and we all put in the melting pot together, you can work towards that together. Do you know what I mean? And I think that if you have this brain dump of these exciting ideas, this one thing that you're going to do, you might not be able to do it next year. You might have to save for the year after. It doesn't matter. It might just be one day that you take off work and have a beautiful lunch or a beautiful barbecue in the backyard with your friends. Invite some friends over, invite your neighbours over. Easter's coming up. You could have something at Easter with everybody. You could have something in the June long weekend for the King's birthday. But just sort of work out what that one thing is going to be. And then the other thing that I say too is work out a quarterly trip. So you can see on my calendar here, what I've worked out is in the first couple of weeks, actually, I've got a weekend here with mum and dad, and then also another weekend that I'm doing something special with mum and dad. I'm also kayaking, and I'm going to the gym and having lunch with mum, and then I'm going to have a coffee with dad when he's back in the office. Chinese New Year's coming up, so that's something there as well. And you can see Valentine's Day. I've got a date with myself on Valentine's Day. It's going to be very exciting, I can tell you. I'm looking forward to it. You got to take yourself out sometimes. Do something nice for yourself. I think you've got to spoil yourself too. So whether you're with somebody or whether you're not with somebody, just take yourself out on a date and enjoy the time. But I'm going to pull out all of these bits and pieces because when you see it each and every day, it happens. It really does. Like when calling in that 75 hard, I wasn't asking for it in my mind, but I was, because I put it out there. I said, okay, so what is the best and highest use of myself and where I'm heading for 2025? And then all of a sudden, within 12 hours, I get this message from Katie and Ryan saying, hey, do you want to join? So I'll put it in the stories as well. So if you wanted to come on the journey as well, come on the 75 days. Look, even if one thing you wanted to improve was drinking more water, you might be able to do that as part of the 75 challenge, or you might be able to do exercise, or you might be able to catch up with friends, or you might be able to read a little bit more. Whatever that thing is that you're working towards, that can be your 75. But essentially, I kind of figured if I share it with everybody, it makes me more accountable. Hey, Pete, how are you? We're just talking about going to Indonesia. Do you want to come to Scandinavia and the Arctic? 2026, that's when I'm going. Sled dogs, we might be able to get Jasper on one of these. I'm getting a group of friends together, so it should be a lot of fun, and you never know, you find lots of things. The other thing is, what I like to do in the year that was 2024 is look at the things that worked really well and bring them into the calendar that you've got, and then look at the things that didn't go so well and why they didn't go so well, and see if you can change that. So say, for example, work, we've got systems that are in place, and sometimes we don't always get it right, because you can't expect it to get it right all the time. That would be beyond perfection, and that's not what any of us are. We're all people, we all make mistakes. But if you look at those things that aren't necessarily working and just go, okay, well, what system can I bring into play, and make sure that those things are brought into your, whether it's your work life. You can hear my puppy dogs coming and going. That's what the bang, 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 bang. Come on, Bruce, do you want to come up and say hello to everybody? Come up and say hello. Yeah, so bring into your, come on, buddy, come here. I think Brucey's going to come up and say hello. He likes to interrupt and say hello. All right, so Bruce has got a few goals for this year. He's going to be walking a little bit more, aren't you? A little bit more walking, and we bought him a, what do you call it? What is it that we got you? Or I got you? Oh, you want to have a cuddle? All right. We got you a little PFD, personal flotation device, so he can come on the kayak with me. He's going to come on the, are you going to come on the kayak with me? He looks so cute in it. You sort of wrap it around him, and he's just so sweet. And so I'm going to get on the kayak, and Pete's going to maybe, hopefully, come and teach me how to, I bought a bigger kayak, like a 5.5 metre, and there's a bunch of people that are going to go down and video me jumping into this kayak, and have a good laugh at my expense, I'm sure. So if you want to come down to the river and see the launching of the new kayak, I'm looking forward to that. I've got a couple of kayaks, but this one's a touring one. So a couple of friends of mine, Wendy and Kerry, big shout out to them. They've just come back from Kangaroo Valley on a trip to, I don't know, it's an overnight trip, 2 nights, and they said next time you have to come along. So we might get a bunch of friends together and do our kayaking and do our touring kayak, because it's got like 2 little sections, the front section and the back section. Oh, you want to cuddle? Oh, okay, I know. Yeah, there's a front section and a back section, and you can chuck everything in there, and it really, it does a really good job. So I'm going to pop you down, buddy. Is that all right? You're going to pop down? Okay. All right, so that's Bruce, and you've seen Topsy, so everybody has been said hello to, so that's really good. The other thing that I like to look at is, hey, Pete, how are you? Hi, Henry, how are you? How's Winston? Is he well? The other thing that I like to look at is controlling your inputs, because if you had a really good year and certain things happen for you, there's a reason for that. And look at those reasons as to why things were really great, because if you look for those reasons and there's some similarities with those things that you're doing, so whether it's a sleep hygiene, you're going to bed at 9:30, whether it's drinking more water, they're all helping your health, and you're going to feel better as a result of it. So you might have felt better last year because you were doing those sorts of things. And if you join us on this 75 hard challenge, you might find that a couple of those things will be really good for you. It's certainly going to be good for me, and I'm looking forward to that. For those of you who know, I have lost 20 kilos, and I think I've got another 20 to go, possibly. Maybe 10, I'm not too sure, but I've been going to the gym and noticing, like, I've got to go and buy a new wardrobe, because I think I've changed three dress sizes, as it were. Not that I've ever worn a dress. Maybe once I've worn a dress, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So controlling your input. So what you're snacking on, what you're eating, what you're drinking, alcohol, whatever. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, so it doesn't bother me, but I know this time of year can be challenging for people in that regard. Controlling your input in regards to whether it's the news, whether it's music, whether it's podcasts, listen to, think about what you're actually listening to, because sometimes it can put you in a good headspace, and other times it can be, make your terra firma not so terra firma. It may make you a little bit shaky underground. So positive in, positive out. That's my advice. And flip the switch on the negatives and make them a positive. So if you're thinking, okay, this is not working for me, why is it not working for me? And look at adjusting and changing what you're doing so that, you can do that. Ashley's saying, yes, please, let me know. I'd love to watch. I know. Yeah, you can come along to everybody. We'll all be down on the side of the river. We'll be launching this kayak, and honestly, it will be a lot of fun because everybody is going to jeer and laugh. I remember I was looking at buying a kayak. I'd never used a kayak before in my life, and my dad came with me to have a look at this kayak. We were allowed to take it down to the river to test it out. And for those of you that kayak, the wider the kayak, like stand-up paddle boards, the wider the kayak, the more stable they are. The idea is when you're getting a kayak, don't buy a narrow kayak. This kayak that I went to try out was very narrow and very fiberglass, very slippery, very wet, they call it tippy when you have a kayak. So as soon as it hopped on the water, it just went straight over. There was no getting out of it. So each time we launched from the side of the beach, or Windsor Beach as they call it, I just went into the water. I could not balance this thing to save myself. Lucky I've had a bit of practice now. I bought myself a bass kayak, which is a slightly wider kayak, quite a few years ago, probably 10 years ago. And we went for a trip, Mum and Dad, myself, we all went for a trip down to Wollongong. And Dad got an outside, what do you call it? An open kayak. It was like one of those fishing kayaks. And that was fun, and he usually takes it out with Robbie, my little nephew. And they even saw a snake on the Hawkesbury River in the South Creek. So if you are kayaking, I probably wouldn't suggest swimming. My father actually said as a bit of a joke to Robert as he was sort of paddling, just be careful of the snakes, buddy. And lo and behold, there goes a snake across the top of the water. So they do swim, like my water dragons in the backyard. They do swim. So be careful and do stay safe. And that water is not the cleanest, and possibly not the most stable on the actual sand. So be careful. There's warning signs everywhere. Just make sure you swim with somebody else, or, go into your knees or something like that. Pete's going to bring the cameras for the launch. It's going to be a good day. We might have to do a live feed from there so that everyone can see me dive into the water, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? When you're going into the water, you might as well go head first and just, completely even when it's in winter time, I love diving into the cold water and going for a surf in the water there. So 3 big things for a Live, Love, Big Life to wrap it up. I mean, you can see my board up here. It is filling in, which there's not much at the end of the year, but I just thought I'd work on this year. We are going to do a training session with the Remakery, Liz and the Remakery from Windsor. So anybody that wants to jump in, just send me a direct message. We'll do that. Have a look at my stories for the 75 if you want to be involved in that. And then the 3 things for the Live, Love, Big Life by design for you. My present to you is pick something big, whatever that's going to be for you. And it's got to be meaningful for you. So it doesn't have to be meaningful at all. It can be anything to you, just one thing that's important to you for whatever reason. So if it's drinking more water, or it might be a big goal like running a race, or going kayaking, going on a marathon kayak, or going on a trip somewhere, or doing those sorts of things. I'm not too sure what that's going to look like for you, but just do one big thing for the year. The other thing that I do is work on those quarterly goals. So I like to sort of do those quarterly events. So I've got one for January that I've set out. February, I'm taking myself out on a date on Valentine's Day. And then in March, I'm going to the Philippines. So the Philippines is probably the big thing for me, because it's all about reconnecting with extended family over there. I'm a godparent to Luna over in the Philippines. So I'm looking forward to catching up with her and Paul and Des and the family. It's going to be so much fun. And then we're going to go and travel around with her sister and the family if we can, and go and swim with some whale sharks and take a scuba dive, because I promised myself I'm going to go for a scuba dive. Every location that I go each year, I'm going to go scuba diving. I'm not too sure about this one. This might have to be a really cold, I have to put a really thick wetsuit on to dive there, but I reckon it would be amazing. Some of the limestone that they have over there that makes that water so clear and beautiful, and what you see underneath is just beautiful. And the third thing is, to make it an amazing 2025, is just some winning habits that you can pick up that really serve you well. So that list that you wrote for the year before, like this year that's just about to leave us, what did you do well and what made you feel really good? Was it going to bed early? Was it getting up early? Was it drinking more water? Was it catching up with friends and family? Was it taking the dogs for a walk? Was it sitting in the sunshine first thing in the morning and getting that 15 minutes and resetting the circadian rhythm? Is it dry brushing in the morning before you have a shower so that you get the lymphatic drainage going? Is it jumping on a rebounder maybe just to get the lymphatics going in the body? Is it taking supplements of some sort? I've got wonderful naturopath that lives next door, so Kelly from Windsor Naturopathy, if anybody needs any supplements. If you need a little bit of a boost with any of the supplements that you have in your life, eating the right things. It might just be having really good clean meals throughout the day and the night time. It might be meal prepping of a Sunday. I'm not too sure what that is for you. Pop in the comments below what you are going to maybe look at doing in the new year, or committed to doing in the new year, or is it drinking water? You pop it in there, because that one thing that you pop in the comments may be that one thing that helps somebody else. Like, I know friends of mine, some of them are running marathons. One's just come back from New Zealand and she ran a marathon and she did an amazing job over there. And her and her partner, Josh, I mean, they're just really, really lovely people. And I get inspired by seeing people like that and what they're doing. Kerry and Wendy, they've just come back from a weekend, a 2-day overnight kayaking. I mean, there's a 25-kilometre kayak. There's also a 100-kilometre kayak. So I was looking at doing the 100-kilometre kayak. And those sorts of things. So what is it to you? Hi, Antoinette. How are you? Nice to have you on the line. I hope you and the family are well this time of year. I haven't spoken to you for a few years, but we did the course together. Les is saying she can't meal prep because I meal prep for 3 days and eat them all in one. It can be a bit challenging, can't it? Let me tell you, talking about meal prep, I went to my mum and dad's and look what she made for me. She made these, I don't know whether you can see these. Yeah, I think you can. Beautiful slices. Absolutely. Just going to lick that because I haven't started my diet yet. I've been a little bit lackadaisical over the holidays, which I think, hey, it's okay. Still eating fairly cleanly, but not stopping myself from having the nice things. That's, I think, a caramel slice. I haven't had some yet, but I'm eyeing it off. And Bruce and Topsy, they've been eyeing it off too and saying, Mum, when are you going to crack it open? So, yeah. Let me know what your year's going to look like. We're going to have a training session in the new year for the calendar as well. And we're going to continue these 2mm Mondays because I get so many lovely comments back, the things that people have done, and it inspires me each and every day to turn up and see what you're doing. We had somebody ride on the track. We had somebody get a new job. We had somebody get a new girlfriend. We had somebody, like, it's just every week there's always something new happening. And I just think that it's wonderful. And, you know, to see those sorts of things and the changes in people's lives, it's just lovely, lovely to see. And it's very rewarding for me. So for that being said, if anybody not too sure about their orbit, not too sure where they are, they need a little bit of direction, let me know. I might be able to head you in the right direction. We might be able to head each other in the right direction as to what we're doing. And if you wanted to join the 75 Hard Accountability Challenge, Katie and Ryan are doing that from Texas. So I'm looking forward to joining that. That starts on the 1st of January. You can start whenever you want. It doesn't have to start 1st of January. Some are starting later in January when they come back from holidays. You might not want to start in February. I'm not too sure. But if you wanted to start, pick the date that you want to start and then sign up. So just join the channel that I've sent out to everybody, join the link, and then you too can join the challenge, 75-day challenge. You're going to be exercising 2 times a day. One of those will be out in the sunshine. You're going to be drinking a gallon of water. You're going to be reading 10 pages of a book. You are going to be looking after yourself and just sort of, I guess I'd be adding a few extra things. And I think the more you do of these sorts of things, the more you want to do for yourself and those around you, and share that with you and with other people. And it's not necessarily for everybody, I get that, because there's some people that the exercise that they're able to do is in the house and they're restricted to the house, which I completely respect. And I've got some people that I know, friends and family, that need to do smaller exercises and start easy. You know, it might be a can of baked beans. I've done that before when I've had a shoulder injury, just hold a can of baked beans instead of doing bicep curls or overheads or tricep things. It doesn't really matter, you know, it's just a matter of doing where it is for your level and where you're at in life. And if you do need help, reach out, because I can head you in the right direction for some people that are local and would love to be able to help you. And if you want to go for a walk with Bruce and Topsy, just let me know also, because we walk locally and we love catching up with lots of different people. We walk down the mall and we're just sort of, you know, it takes you an hour instead of 5 minutes to get a loaf of bread, because everybody says hello, and it's just a nice thing to be part of a community, part of the bigger picture for everybody. And then next year, one big thing that I am working on, and I can't wait to share it with you. I won't be able to share it with you just yet, but you'll be very much a big part of this. And I'm looking forward to giving back to the community in a big way for, I think it's going to be, we're heading towards July and then also December for next year. So we will be in contact with you about that, but that will be helping, you know, multiple levels. And I'm excited to talk about that. You can see I'm excited, but I just can't share it with you just yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that when the time is right. 3 big things for 2025. I hope you all stay safe for the new year. I hope your constellations and the moon and the planets are all orbiting in the right way that you want them to. And if they're not, change your orbit. Do something different. Reach out to other people. Talk to people that can help in regards to your exercise, your diet, or groups like the 75 Hard Accountability Challenge. They're wonderful people on the other side of the world. Who would have thought somebody reach out to me after I put it out to the universe? What's the best and highest use for that next phase? And this is what I want to achieve. And then boom, straight in my inbox, I get this message. So thank you to Katie and Ryan for the push there. Looking forward to the 75 Hard. You'll probably all be, I'll be crying on the live with you going, oh my goodness, I can't believe I signed up to this and I've got to do this. But apparently there's progress pictures as well. So this will be the first one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that journey and that with you. And it doesn't just stop with the 75. It's probably just to build that momentum in the beginning of the year for us all. And then you adopt that list of things that are working and just keep on adding to it. It's like the stacking effect. So in life, if you've got, you know, one good thing that's working and then you just keep on adding to that slowly and slowly, because you can't do it all at the one time. It's kind of like running a marathon. You couldn't do a 42K run straight away. You might start with a 2K run and then do that a couple of times a week. And then you might push it up to 3 or 5 or 10, or I'm not too sure. I'm not a marathon runner, as you can see, but certainly it's something that you need to source somebody who has done it before, somebody who knows how to run, somebody who has done marathons before. And that's all you need to do, is surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do. So whether that's property and you're not too sure how to build a multi-million-dollar portfolio of properties, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. I would love to put you in the right direction. We have residential, commercial, strata and rental properties. So whatever it is that you want to build, we can build that with you. We can show you the right structures and the right people to get in contact with to do that. And we'd love to help you, because I want to see you win as well. I want to see your live, love, big life, whatever that may look like. It may not be property. It may be family, may not be family. It may be, you know, exercise, food and diet. It may not be exercise, food and diet. It might be fur kids. I'm not too sure. It might be camping. It might be, you know, just catching up with people or doing whatever you're going to do, or do a live video down at the river whilst everybody laughs at you, and you can all throw each other in the water and laugh at one another at the same time. All right, well, that's what my week's going to look like. I can't wait for the new year. I can't wait to speak to you again next week, which will be 2025. I can't believe it's come around so fast. My grandfather always, when he was alive, he always said, I keep on putting the bins out each year, each week, faster and faster. And I never quite understood what he meant by that. Excuse me for having a drink there. And now, as I'm getting older, I'm thinking I know exactly what he means. Like, I can't believe we're at Christmas and we're heading into the new year. It's 2025, or just about, literally a day away. And we're going to be starting the 75 Hard Challenge, Accountability Challenge together. And then we've got this new project for July, which I'm really looking forward to sharing that with each and every one of you. And I can't wait. I've got my island shirt on, so palm trees and things like that I bought for when I was going to Bali. So I'm trying to stay in the holiday mode for the next couple of days, and then we'll be gliding straight into 2025 with some momentum, because we've already created our calendar for our Live, Love, Big Life. Because if you don't put it on a calendar, if you're swirling around in your head, you're not too sure. If you don't have a compendium, or if you don't have a calendar to write things on, how are you meant to keep track of things? So here's to your Live, Love, Big Life. I hope you have a great 2024, the last 24 hours of it. If you want to join us on the 75 challenge, please pop onto my story, join, click the link, send me a direct message. I can send you an invite, and stay safe over the holiday period, what's left of it for you. You may be going back to work on the 6th or the 13th. Or you may have already been one of those troopers like Set Temp Air Conditioning who are already there, like Gold Electrical that are already there. So if you need trades, they're on the happy, and really they're there to serve our people. And they've just been great. The tradespeople have been fantastic, and they're straight onto it. So start the challenge whenever you want to. Don't start the challenge. Pop in the comments below what you're going to do for 2025 for yourself or others, because that's what we all love doing. And here's to a very, very happy new year to each and every one of you. I really enjoy catching up with you, and I guess I'll see you next year. All right, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll catch up with you next year. Bye for now.